Elliot Williams, born June 20th, 1989. Today's feature is 35 now, whose basketball career has been over almost 10 years and lasted just 6 years, with a lot of time missed in between due to circumstances pretty much out of his control. Elliot Williams leaving high school, some compared to Larry Hughes and Kobe Bryant, while others described him as the perfect fit wing for where the NBA was headed. But no one can see the future, and sometimes we forget that predictions have a side to it that can't be factored. He was a McDonald's All-American in 2008, a part of a class where 20 of the 24 players eventually made the NBA, and although his expectations weren't as big as Demar Derozan or Jennings, he was still seen as a one-and-done college player, left school 2 years early, and became an NBA first-round pick for the Portland Trailblazers. His time with the team didn't go well, to say the least, only appearing in 24 games before they let him walk and sign with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who waived him a month later. He then signed with the Sixers, and in a contract year, he played the most games of his career at 67, with highs across the board of 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 75% from the free throw line, leading to him being demoted to the D-League and subsequently waived a year after joining the team. Thereafter, things never really turned around as far as the NBA, only receiving 10-day contracts from then on and having his best basketball being played in leagues outside the NBA, ending October 2016 with the Golden State Warriors the same way he came in, unavailable to perform his duties for reasons out of his control. The NBA journey can be unforgiving at times and can forget about you when you aren't able to meet the expectations placed on you, no matter the reason or if it's controllable or not. The fact of life in general is everyone can't go. In basketball, they all can't be NBA All-Stars, win championships, sign lucrative contracts, and play over 15 years in the league. There's always going to be players that were advanced in their development enough to stand out on the amateur level. Then, as soon as they're met with equally gifted competition, they're neutralized and become NBA bust or not even mentioned at all. But I don't think Williams was necessarily a bust, because from the start, he never got a fair shot, having to miss his entire rookie season, 3/4 of his sophomore season, and his entire third season because his body just couldn't hold up or catch a break. Did Williams have potential if a healthy career was on his path? Yes, I truly believe so. He was a standout lefty on every level, but in the NBA, he didn't get the chance to prove himself for these reasons. What happened? Let's talk about it. Salute to Trey on IG for this request. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Elliot Williams was a 6'5" shooting guard from Memphis, Tennessee that was a star since his sophomore year for St. George's Independent School in Collierville, Tennessee. He averaged 26 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists that year, leading into his junior season where he produced essentially the same numbers, although improving in areas like rebounding and assists. He received all-state selections and all-district awards each year, finishing off his illustrious high school career as an individual, named the District 2A Mr. Basketball, second-team Parade All-American, and McDonald's All-American. He was also a standout in the classroom, carrying a 3.7 GPA throughout high school, and became an all-academic selection his junior and senior years. He chose Duke for its rich history of excellence and for the chance to play for Coach K, the most recognizable coach in the history of college basketball. But not even a year after arriving, he was transferring and on the move. Stunt number 1, coming in broken. In Elliot's lone season at Duke, he came into a roster with 5 other future NBA players and a junior guard in Gerald Henderson directly in front of him at the same position. He found it difficult to be who he was in high school, starting just 12 games at little over 16 minutes a game, averaging 4 points, 2 rebounds, and shooting 25% from 3. By all accounts, it was a down year to say the least, causing him, in my opinion, to want to transfer. Of course, the press release was that he wanted to be closer to his mom, who had become ill, and I do believe that played a major role in him leaving to sign with his hometown Memphis. But I also think Williams saw the writing on the wall with a stacked Duke roster and 7 other future NBA players on the team the next year had he returned. A year the Blue Devils won the national championship. Who knows what Elliot's role would have been on that team, but it for sure wasn't going to be big enough for him to leave after that year, and so Memphis looked like a great opportunity, and it was, literally saving his NBA chances. He averaged nearly 18 points per game with the Tigers in 09-10, playing 33 minutes per game and improving across the board. He started every game, but the Tigers failed to make the tournament. No worries, because Williams had done enough to be selected in the first round of the 2010 draft, meaning at least 4 years to develop and prove he belonged. He never got the chance to prove anything, as he was injured in practice before the season, playing one-on-one with a teammate when he dislocated his right patella. Even though he said the injury happened to him before and was minor in his eyes, the team suggested he have surgery to prevent future damage, and he agreed. He missed the entire 10-11 season and the development he could have gotten from it. I don't care how good your doctor is. In my opinion, every surgery takes a little bit from who you were before, sometimes mentally more than anything. Williams was never the same since. Stunt number 2, waived by Philly. The 2013-14 season was a very important one for Williams, coming off 3 years where he either didn't play at all or was limited to 24 games in 2011-12 after dislocating his shoulder in practice and having to miss more time on the court and developing over the summer instead of rehab. Right before the 2012-13 season, in a voluntary workout with the team, Williams would suffer another blow, tearing his Achilles tendon, which meant a 3rd straight year that he had a significant injury suffered in practice and causing him to miss another majority or full season. Signing with and playing well in Philly was make or break for him, and for the first time he received some sort of opportunity, playing 17 minutes per game and starting a few games on the year. A year he was finally somewhat healthy, playing 67 games. But in that time, he was not productive enough to warrant Philly further investing in him, and a year after him signing, they waived him. The feeling was that although he had shown some improvement, and most importantly that he was able to play a healthy season, the production you got from him could be found elsewhere, whether through free agency or even the draft. Once Philly waived him, it signified another team that gave up on his injury-plagued history and significantly altered potential, making other teams play the wait-and-see game on his growth and development, most importantly his health. He began the 2014-15 season in the Development League with the Santa Cruz Warriors, called up by the Utah Jazz January 2015 on a 10-day contract, followed by another before they decided not to retain him as well. Philly, looking back, was the fork in the road of his career. Unfortunately, things headed in a different direction than expected from there. Stunt number 3, coming in broken, going out broken. By September 2016, Elliot Williams had a basketball journey that took him from the D-League to a 10-day in the NBA here, another 10-day there, with teams like Charlotte, New Orleans, and Memphis, with none of them believing in the player he was at that point, enough to lock him up long-term, or at least a full season. He was an injured lefty that predominantly went left, no mid-range game, and average athleticism, especially after all he went through. He also played in the EuroLeague in Greece and back to the D-League, where he had success on those levels, making back-to-back D-League All-Star games and being a solid contributor for Panathinaikos before signing with the Golden State Warriors September 16, 2016. Between then and October 20th, his right knee required what was called a minor surgery, but it still caused him to miss all 6 of his new team's preseason games. With a slim chance to make the final 15th spot on the roster without seeing where his development on the court was, along with already showing he wasn't healthy still, they waived him without him playing a game on the season. It would be the last basketball he would play to my knowledge altogether, making 6 long and disappointing years where his body consistently let his talent down. All in all, Elliot Williams made it to a level like the NBA and at least had the opportunity. Success is not promised even to the talented who work hard. Nothing is ever really in our control and injuries can derail any player's career. Solid player, but for these reasons, his growth was stunted. Salute, much respect. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.